And the reason I wanted you to share those moments and that relationship you're developing with Steve, because it's just the point of it's really important to have quality relationships with your partners, your vendors, your subcontractors. Call them partners because it should be a partnership, right?
100%.
Yeah, you're developing a relationship, you're providing feedback on what are your customers saying and how can they help solve those problems, and vice versa. Hey, what do you think of our product, and how can it serve you better, and all that stuff. But those relationships need to be tight, and you need to form connections with guys like Steve so that you can share research, share customer insights, collaborate on awesome product developments that might come in the future based on those conversations and relationships. All right, welcome to the John Minnie podcast. I'm your host, Mark Minnie, president of John Minnie Distinctive Landscapes. And at John Minnie, our purpose is to make places beautiful by bringing nature to the places people live, work, and play. Today, I sit down with our very own Matt Wessel, the director of our outdoor operations. Together, we reflect on a recent annual conference and expo and some of the trends in the outdoor landscaping trade. We note some trends on technology, ranging from the software that you can run your outfit on to advances in electrical equipment. Why we believe it's important to attend this conference and the power of developing professional relationships. Quick thanks for joining us. If you guys enjoy this episode, we would really appreciate a like or a subscribe on whatever platform you consume your podcast. All right, let's head over to my convo with Matt. All right, Matt, welcome back to the John Minnie podcast.
Thanks for having me, Mark. Happy to be here.
Yeah, pumped to be here with you, man. Just for our audience, obviously, put in the show notes, but you are the director of outdoor at John Minnie Distinctive Landscapes. Important to give that context because we're going to be talking about a recent conference we went to, which is focused on, outdoor landscaping or horticulture across the country. And yeah, we were in Charlotte this year for the National Association of Landscape Professionals annual conference. It's called Elevate. I can explain all those things in a second, but we were there early in November to get the most out of it and bring back some learnings and inspiration back to our operations. So why don't you start, Matt, with helping the audience understand what is the National Association of Landscape Professionals?
Yeah, so National Association of Landscape Professionals, NALP for short. It's an organization made up of our nation's top firms in our industry. This organization advocates for our industry down in White House when we're facing regulations involving equipment and water usage. They're also a tremendous information resource for people in our industry, providing certifications via universities or online classes, as well as just off-the-shelf learning that you can take back to your team. So whether it's advocating for our industry or helping to push our industry, it's an organization that I'm super happy to be a part of because it aligns with us and how we want to just continue to raise that bar. And I also like to think of NALP as our industry's narrator. It connects what's going on in New York with what's going on in California, Texas, all over the world. And it, gives you a perspective on different aspects of the industry, like us, our niche-ness with this urbanscaping stuff. So yeah, it kind of narrates and connects us all.
In Charlotte, we were specifically at NALP's Elevate conference and exposition, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll take this one since I'm on the website as well. NALP Elevate is, NALP touts it as the landscape industry's premier event. I would agree. I would think it's of all the events, it is the premier event for the industry. It happens once a year. It travels from city to city. I think the way they do it is they flip-flop East Coast, West Coast each year. And verbatim off their website is a immersive experience designed to equip you and your team with knowledge, insights, inspiration to propel your business forward. That's a very sexy way to put it, but I think it's a lot about that. That conference is a lot about education. I would say like leaning into the word that's missing there is networking. And I think they do a great job, the conference, of cultivating networking through, celebratory moments for the industry. And we'll talk about some of the events and fun events. Like, right, I think they try to, cultivate a fun and engaging environment so people and industry professionals come together and they, take their business hats off for a second and be people, and they meet with each other, obviously talk business, but also get to know one each other and build those robust professional connections that you might tap into one day down the road. And then obviously there's the exposition side of it, where it's an opportunity to see a lot of our gear, tools, products, software all in one place. I don't know, anything you want to add on what Elevate is?
Yeah, I mean, you hit checked all the boxes there. I mean, I really do like how you said they do have a lot of events that are more fun and engaging for networking, because and with any job, whatever you do, work can be super serious, but what we do, it's fun, and like I think sometimes people lose that, and just being able to bring everyone back to that, I think really breaks down the barriers, and you make some deep connections with some real heavy hitters.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it. Cool. So what, I guess, anybody can carve up a conference however they want, or an exposition. Let's talk about how we attacked it, like what our schedule looked like. You want to run through it?
Cool. Yeah. So like 3 days. I mean, there was the exposition floor, so that was usually open on the afternoons every day. So you're free to walk that and network with vendors, learn about product. But there were also a whole bunch of education sessions. So being 4 people there, we were able to attend 4 different sessions. We probably went through 3 a morning, so 12 sessions a day. A lot of information, a lot of valuable information to bring back. So. So it really was a lot of education sessions, walking the expo floor, and then it did all culminate with that award ceremony.
Oh yeah, Monday night, first night award ceremony. I would say that. So educational sessions, expo floor. There are a handful of networking. They don't call them like networking sessions, but like outside of the working hour, like events that they cultivate that induce you to like, hey, take your whatever, decompress a little bit and have a little bit more of an informal setting to meet other industry professionals. One of which is like the award celebration, which we attended. I don't think I attended any other of those outside hour events. And the only other thing I would add is there's always like some kind of keynote kickoff. Definitely. It was a good one this year. Actually, I've read that guy's book before. Oh man,
Sean Aker.
Good job. And the key, which was great. And the CEO of NALP usually gives like kind of a keynote / kickoff before the keynote speaker as well, Britt Wood, which is important because I think he also just gives like a status of the industry. Are things growing? A status of the Elevate conference, which I think general sentiment was positive, as like more attendees, more exhibitors. So everything was like going in the right direction, which was good to hear. But award celebration, hell yeah. We took some awards home. How many we take home? 4?
Yeah, 4. 2 golds and 2 silvers, but 4 awards in total. So national awards at that. So
hell yeah.
Super proud of that.
Yeah, super proud. I'm a little bummed. I think 1 or 2 of them, I believe were under-recognized. I feel like they should have performed a little better. Yeah. But that's me, I guess. I was on
they're all gold in my eyes. But
hell yeah.
No, I hear you, man. I mean, it's funny to see the wide range of awards that are given out and the wide range of projects. I mean, like I said, we're a very niche urbanscaping industry, so when our projects come up, they really stand out from a lot of the rest.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think we won 4 awards. Pretty competitive. It's very competitive. Actually, we do 2 awards programs throughout in a single year, and this is, I would say, probably the most competitive. The more competitive of the 2 programs that we submit awards to. Hundreds of awards, not easy to get a gold. And yeah, we can talk about that a little. I think like our projects are so unique. Like we're just seeing some of these awards, which are epic projects across the country.
Beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful work, but like they're just completely different, right? Like it's like some I just have this picture of one of them. I remember seeing it's like this gorgeous estate, like with like some mountains in the background, like rolling hills. I'm like, whoa, like where are we? And then you look at our projects and it's like these, high design micro spaces within like the dense urban city. So it's just interesting to get that juxtaposition at the conference. Yeah.
Yeah, the logistical challenges that our projects face, I don't think translate that well. But
Yeah.
you definitely hear it from the fellow attendees when they're like, "How'd you get that tree on that roof?"
Yeah.
So it's
Or just even like when we're networking and they're
yeah,
like, "Wait, you guys do what in the
yeah,
city?" And like we're like, "Yeah, we're here. We're landscapers too." Like it's all the vendors and collaborator or the industry peers we meet down there are like, all right, it's a different world of landscaping that we do in horticulture. So yeah, Monday night award celebration. Any favorite sessions or standout educational moments that you had?
yeah. Myself, yeah. I mean, what I like is the vast range of different kind of outfits that are there. Like we said, we're this urbanscaping outfit. Then you have all these mow and blow companies. You have people doing all kinds of different things. So I did sit in on one that really stood out to me. It was a efficiency seminar. It was ran by a guy from Rupert. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
knows Eric, our director of indoor over here. So that was cool. But it's really interesting to see how they attack a large HOA complex or how they attack these large mow and blow accounts. Sometimes people might not think a lot of thought goes into cutting grass, but they map out these properties to use this size mower here to cut the most square footage, depending on where it is. And it's fascinating to see how much detail goes into these mowing maps, they call them, and just taking little things that they do in their operation and seeing how maybe I could use them in mine. Seeing what efficiencies that could bring. Not necessarily mowing maps, but maybe site maps, something to that level to translate to us. So I
Mm-hmm.
just like looking at something that's completely different, but seeing how maybe it's working for them. How can we tweak it to maybe make it work for us? So that was just fascinating to me to see how much thought and detail goes into a mowing map, is what they
Yeah,
call
no,
it.
that's really cool takeaway and a standout from a standout educational session that I think highlights like a really important or valuable thing about going to this conference. Like, sometimes I feel like people can not go to industry conferences if they don't feel like it's going to apply directly to their business. We're an urban horticulture firm, which is it's wildly different than most of the people we're meeting down
Oh yeah.
there. Or you might be, say, an indoor landscaper, and that's not really the type. There's not many indoor landscapers who go to NALP. We happen to do both, but when you go there, you're learning, you're hearing, you're talking to people who are in a parallel business, right? Whether it's a service business, it's landscaping still. They're still focusing on similar things, whether it be like how to, generate sales to existing customers or find efficiencies. And whatever they're doing, though it's a different business model or different type of client, there's always things you can find and apply to your own business in other variations. It's just about being open minded and like
Mm-hmm.
listening and thinking about how other people do things and saying, all right, well, not exactly the same how we do things here in New York or anywhere else, but I can learn something from that and I can find a way to tweak it and apply it to our business. So I think that's a really insightful way to put it. Um, yeah, even just one of my takeaways was, I sat in, man, I'll put it in the show notes. I just blanked on their name, but they're like a similar size outfit, but completely different type. It's out in the Midwest, I believe. So obviously not like urban horticulture, but they were just talking about their training programs. And obviously we have training programs here, but they they went back to the basics. They like unraveled like how they do all their training programs for all their different positions in their firm, and how detail oriented it was, starting with going back to the basics of setting up a training program and setting up tracking mechanisms to make sure all your teammates are hitting all the right milestones at the right time, and how to hold people accountable to like their training progression through tracking and having like accountable individuals on their team. I think they call them like training coordinators. It was nothing mind like it didn't like blow me out of the water, but it was inspirational, and it was just a takeaway moment for me to say like, all right, that's awesome. Like they went back to the basics, they paid attention to every detail of their training program, and they're having success. And like that's just inspired me to go back and say like, all right, let's look at our training programs. Like what moments are we missing in an individual's career in being trained? Like what touches do we need to provide? What details do we need to pay attention to? Like it just got me like excited, I guess, for lack of better words, to like go back and like analyze our training programs and see what we can do better to take them to the next level. But I think that's what those educational sessions are all about, like just sparking you to think about things a little differently or do things like anew.
No, definitely. I mean, these conferences, I always leave them just so inspired and like ready just to like hit the ground running and just like, work hard. And it's always a super inspirational thing. Another session that really stood out to me was, I'm on a big autonomous mower kick.
You are.
Yeah, so I sat in on a autonomous mower.
We don't even do that many lawns.
Yeah. Soon.
We
need more robots. But yeah, sat on one of those classes. It was super fascinating. The first autonomous mower was Husqvarna sold. I think it was a solar powered one in 95. So we're looking at almost 30 years of innovation now. And just to see where the technology has come and see where the future is, that's inspiring. And something that one of the guys, it was a panel of three guys, one guy from, I believe from Crest, one guy from Rupert, and then another guy from Groundworks. Rupert Groundworks, great outfits. Rupert, I think they had over 300 autonomous mowers running a day. I mean,
oh, wow.
That's nationwide, but still, that's a whole fleet,
Yep.
But something one guy said that I thought that just really sparked something in my head was cutting grass. It's a low value task. I mean, it has to get done, but it's not giving the impact that horticultural master gardener work will be doing. So by getting more autonomous rowers on board, he's not losing laborers to cut grass. He's gaining more master gardeners, and he's having more beautiful landscapes. And the grass is still getting cut, it's still getting striped because the technology's there, but the gardens, the landscapes in whole are just looking better. So that's what I'm excited about, to really elevate my team's level of horticultural skills and not have to focus on the traditional stuff like striping turf.
Yeah, that's cool. Like using technology to like take off some of the more standardized tasks in the landscape, and then focusing on the higher attention to detail aspects of the landscape and make sure those things are just like singing and stuff. That's really cool. Awesome. Any other educational moments?
I mean, I know my guys Doug and Jeremy both sat in on some sales classes. Doug, recent promotion to account manager from supervisor. He's about a year and a half into his role, and Jeremy freshly promoted. Again, seeing those guys grow. So, that's a huge, I'm just so proud of them. But they sat in on a bunch of sales classes because that's just something that they're going to be doing a lot more of now. And just the feedback from them and how much they learned and had light bulb moments or eye-opening moments really benefited them.
Cool. Nice, man. So why don't we shift to like looking at the conference at whole, like what were some of like the general or most significant takeaways from the show about the industry that you had walking out of there?
I mean, if I was looking just at that expo floor, I think electric, battery powered autonomy is the future. The presence was heavy on the floor, as you saw. And that's just where the industry is going. I think a big moment for the autonomous mowers is they're being used on golf courses now, which was a huge hump for them to get over. But now that they're doing that, I think the rest of the industry is going to catch on, and we're seeing it more and more in the suburban landscape. And I just think that there's a really unique application for it in the urban landscape. And shout out to my guy Steve over at Crest. We got some good stuff coming this spring. But I think that was a huge takeaway. The future is in battery powered and autonomy. There was a really cool company out there called TOA, and they're helping companies that are having to make the switch from gas to battery, but maybe it's a big financial burden we know it's a big financial burden for anyone. So they have a way where you can remove your gas powered mower, put in a battery powered motor, and then use a Makita battery to slowly make that transition over to batteries. So it's cool to see larger companies like Steel, Toro, Husqvarna, Crest making all this top of the line battery equipment. But it's also cool to see a smaller company helping the smaller guy get on board too, because, all different size companies, but we all got to swim in this direction because, I mean, we're protecting the planet, a more sustainable future. It's what we all want. It's what we all need.
Yeah, no, the without question, like the shift to electric is just happening. That was like definitely a takeaway. Environment positive, some of it's driven by regulatory changes at the government level, and it's definitely progressing. It was wild. All those big brands, Milwaukee as well, like they're all investing in more electric equipment, all the way from like power tools to like the larger landscape, maintenance equipment. The technology is definitely getting better. Like battery life's getting longer, more versatility in your charging infrastructure and like which batteries and charging stations can be used. Like the more interchangeable battery equipment. Sorry, large line, but they're making them more versatile by having like the same charging infrastructure and batteries that can be used across multiple products. So like they're definitely innovating and getting it there. Cost definitely is still a challenge. Stuff's like super expensive. You got to like be intelligent with how you invest in this stuff. I think that's a good point you made. You said shout out to your guy Steve, but so why him? I think you've been having some interesting conversations.
Yeah, I mean, I've been experimenting with the autonomous rower because like I said, in our urbanscaping world, I think there's just such a great application. There's so many lawns out there in New York City and urbanscapes across the world, I'm sure, that are on a rooftop and probably 500 square feet, a little small turf pad, but it takes longer to get the mower cleanly up to the lawn, cut the lawn, and get the mower and the debris downstairs cleanly. It takes longer to convey the mower than it does to cut it. Yeah. So why not use these autonomous mowers just to do the cutting for us, save time with the logistical challenges of moving the equipment, and then again, guys and girls can focus on more detail-oriented horticultural work. And so that's something I've always been thinking about, and I've experimented with a few autonomous mowers, but haven't really landed on something that, I'm comfortable saying like this is as good as a push mower. And then, Crest was a big sponsor of the event. They had a big booth. It's a company that I've heard about before, but never really did too much research. So when we went over to the booth, I started talking to one of the reps about it, and they called over Steve. He's their chief technology officer for the autonomous mowers. Cool. And I was just talking to him about my ideas and my thoughts and what I want to do with them. And he was right in line with what I was thinking. Yeah, he's going to help us get going and get experimenting with this stuff.
So. No, it's awesome. And the reason I wanted you to share like that, those moments and that relationship you're developing with Steve, because it's just the point of like, it's really important to have quality relationships with your partners, your vendors, your subcontractors. Call them partners because it should be a partnership, 100%. Right? Yeah, like you're developing a relationship, you're providing feedback on like what are your customers saying and like how can they help solve those problems, and vice versa. Like, hey, what do you think of our product and like how can it serve you better and all that stuff. But those relationships need to be tight, and you need to form connections with guys like Steve so that you can like share research, share customer insights, collaborate on awesome product developments that might come in the future based on, those conversations and relationships. So I think that's really awesome. And like those kind of moments start at shows, but then you have to nurture those relationships going forward. Awesome. One of the other takeaways, like I would throw out there, electric equipment's one thing, but they're just like, from sitting in on educational sessions as well as walking the expo floor, technology needs to be applied to running your business too. So software development.
100%.
If you want to win and you want to scale your business 2024, you got to invest in software to run your business on. It's a really important decision. It's a hard decision to do. So that's just a general takeaway when I talk to other landscapers out there, some of the larger players, as well as like the newer players who like have that advantage because they're starting now and investing in software to run their business day one. Also, one of the takeaways though is like I've done a ton of research like several years ago on the landscape industry software. A lot of it's come a lot far away, but it's still not always 100% there. Like we're a very unique business, urban horticulture, and we have like multiple crafts and disciplines. It's hard to find a software that applies to each of those operations equally. And then even like some of the better softwares out there that we're excited about still don't have certain aspects of it. Like they're not like full ERP software systems. Like they don't even have like the accounting piece that we have to, so we have to like bolt on other software or build custom stuff. So you got to do it. You got to look at it. It's growing and the industry's paying attention to it and the providers are out there. But you got to be like intentional with it and actually like still hard to find the right solution and bolt on the right solutions to those solutions.
Yeah, no, I've been part of some of those conversations, and it's if it has this, it doesn't have that, and you got to add the finance piece or this piece, whatever it might be. And we're just so niche. You almost think that we got to make our own or something at this point.
Yeah. But it's an important thing to pay attention to. Definitely like one of the key takeaways I had when I just from talking to people and walking the floor. Cool. So why? I mean, we kind of touched on some of these things, but anything you want to add on like why you feel it's important to attend this conference specifically?
Well, all the stuff
You're
we
welcome,
said.
NALP, for a shout out.
We'll have Brittwood on next, but no, I mean it's like I said, it's inspiring. It gets you pumped up. It shows you where the future of our industry is going, and I'm a dreamer. I'm flipping that wonder switch. So it's like
cool.
Having these moments, going to these shows and seeing where the future is going and using my imagination and wondering where this new technology or this whatever it might be could take us or where we could be in 5 years, 10 years. That's what I love about it. It really inspires me to dream big and think about this is what they say the future is now, but what's the future going to be like in a couple more years? And I'm just along for the ride. So and then I'm all about raising the industry standard. I mean, I want the industry to be the best. I want everyone to be doing the best work there is. And the more we can connect with people across the country doing that, the more our industry gets better and, our work's just championed throughout everybody.
Yeah, that's really cool. Actually, I think that's important, like pay it forward way to think about it. Like, I think a big piece of going to the conferences like this is like, yeah, for yourself and to improve and develop, but also like encourage all like, competitors, like people in the industry to go there and get better because like the industry needs to keep getting better. And events like this provide that platform to get more knowledge, to share knowledge, to push each other to perform better. Because when we all perform better, that's it. That's the cycle. Then we all want to get better and we all want to elevate the industry standard. So that's like an important part of having this industry trade conference. And I'd give a plug there too, is like the award celebration going back there. Like, yeah, if you're listening to this, like, want to do great work and submit awards. Like, I want to see better and better awards there because I want to get like competitive and I want to say like, oh dang, like I gotta raise my standards and do even better work. And I hope more people submit awards. It's really cool. There's a lot of cool work out there, but the cooler work we put out there and submit awards for, it's just going to push us all to want to even up our game and do it even better the next year. So do great work, submit awards, be part of that. I think it's actually technically called the NALP Awards of Excellence. So if you Google that, that's like how you find out information about that awards program. But I think that's a really good point. Same thing. Like I like to just like get a pulse on the industry. I think that's just like one of the biggest takeaways for me personally. My role is like to go there, see what everyone's talking about, see what they're not talking about and they should be talking about, because that's like an advantage. I can feel like I walk away from that conference saying like, all right, well, they're not thinking about this. This is how I'm going to separate myself. Self-improvement, like definitely like all the educational sessions, like never think that you know it all, no matter how much experience you have. Like go in there, listen, have an open mind, like learn, and then like build those relationships. Like you never know when you're going to meet somebody on the floor in a session, kick off a relationship, and then like call that person one day and say like, hey, you remember meeting, like I need some help, or vice versa, how can I help you? Build those relationships within the industry. All like super important reasons to attend this conference.
Yeah, I mean it's like it's almost like it's an open court, a game of pickup or whatever, and we're asking who wants to play ball, you know? And it's like I still want to win, but I want to play against somebody.
We want to
you know?
win. Like,
hell yeah,
bettors can show up, but we're gonna win.
Always.
Oh yeah. Cool. I don't know, man. Like, what else we got? What was your favorite? What was your favorite part?
I mean, getting the awards was super rad, man. I mean, we got recognized for a gold national maintenance award for the One Hotel Living Wall right outside Central Park.
And then I think we just got featured too.
Got featured in a magazine too about it. So I mean, that's an iconic New York landscape. I mean, people stop in their tracks, and I'm just so proud to maintain that and have our team attached to it. And I mean, when I brought that back home to the team, you know, it was like the Stanley Cup. We're all passing it around. It was awesome, man. That was great.
That's awesome, dude. The awards are always like one of my favorite parts. We did well again.
Yeah, I mean, got recognized for the palms too. I mean, that's iconic, John Minnie, right there. You know.
Yeah, no, Mojader. It got top award. It got gold. The Winter Garden palm tree replanting. But like, I personally think like maybe it's on our end. I feel like we got to communicate the complexities of that installation or the uniqueness of that installation, because I felt like that should have been best project of the year.
Anybody I tell about that, they're like, how did you do it? I'm like, we
heard people like chattering as the pictures came up. They're like, what the, like, how does that happen? Yeah, it's a pretty epic project. But yeah, all those projects we brought home. What were the other two? We had Braze, right, which was an indoor-outdoor project, and Jeremy's account.
Yeah, 55 Water Street out in Brooklyn. Yeah,
hell yeah, man! Just a shout out to those award-winning projects too. I guess maybe we weren't supposed to shout them out because we haven't like presented them to the client yet, but here we go. I guess
secret's out, right?
Hell yeah! So I think one of my, I wouldn't say like favorite part, but like one of the parts I got most excited about. I want to be careful with my words because I don't want to like, stoke the beast too much. But I had an opportunity to sit on one panel, which was led by some of the CEOs of some of the bigger companies, national companies out there. I don't need to name names, but CEOs that I wildly admire. I mean, the organizations they run are big and complex. It's no joke, that role, and what they're doing is great work. But quite honestly, when I sat on the panel, like when they were sharing what they thought about the industry and where things are going, it like they lacked some innovative thoughts and like future ideas. It was a lot about the basics of great customer service, which were beautiful like nuggets of information that, tried and true customer service tactics and how to look at your business from an efficiency standpoint. But they weren't talking about the future of the industry enough and like where the innovations are going to come down the road. And that excited me because I was like, look, that's what I'm thinking about. Like, well, we're going to kick ass and take names because we're going to always, do the basics, like over service our customers, make sure we don't lose sight of how to run an efficient operation. But what's next? And like always having that mindset at John Minnie is something like I get excited about to talk about with my teammates and have that mindset. So I didn't see that mindset out there, honestly. So that kind of got me excited to be like, all right, let's go back and keep doing that. Like figure out what's going to be the next big thing in our industry and then like jump on it. And that's how we're always going to differentiate ourselves.
No, hell yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot of traditionality, a lot of sticking to the norm, a lot of the basics in our industry. I mean, a lot of people are doing the traditional landscape work, but the people that are really going to drive this ship of the industry and really push this industry to new heights are the innovators like us.
Hell yeah, man. All All right, that's all I got. Anything else you want to add about NALP's Elevate conference this year in Charlotte?
No, just thanks to NALP for putting on like an awesome conference. Thanks to everybody who attended, fellow, outfits, vendors, just a great time. And, it's the best of the best out there.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Like NALP, a lot of hard work they put into that conference. It is a very well-run conference, super professional, super well-organized. And yeah, like shout out to all the attendees, especially like the expo attendees. Like it's a lot of work to get there to set up those booths, ship all their product in and out. But it's really helpful for us and hopefully them as well. So yeah, great. I'm glad you're shooting out that gratitude. All right, man. I appreciate your time. That's all I got today. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
Much gratitude to Matt for joining me today, and thank you to all our listeners. If you guys have any questions, ideas for future episodes, or my favorite, any constructive feedback, please email us at podcast@johnmini.com. And a big final thank you, as always, to our clients at John Mini Distinctive Landscapes. You guys allow us to make our passion our profession. None of this is possible without your support and vision to bring nature to the places people live, work, and play. This episode's a wrap. I hope you guys have a great day, and always be sure to find a moment today to cherish the nature around you.